right. So inside Wise, I think it's important to recall that we will spend most of our time working into the designer layout and inside the interactive music hierarchy in the project explorer. Of course, we will have to use the containers and the function provided by this amazing hierarchy. The first container that we will work with is the music segment. And let's rename it temple, like the music queue we will work with. And before we start importing asset, I think it's important to recall that this music segment can import multiple waves and will act almost like a timeline that you should find in a more conventional DAW. So let's import some files, add files, and import. And I think it's important to also recall the goal that we are looking for with music. We want the music to trigger properly, especially with responding to game calls and events created. We want the music to transition properly, and so it responds to the game mechanics and the way the players navigate the game and activate those mechanics. And we also want to provide as much as a randomization and maybe less repetitiveness for him. We can say that we want the most interactive experience for him with music. So the first thing I can do with all my work is to look at the content inside this music segment. And let's start to set up properly the BPM. 78. The time signature will be 44. And I think it's a good time now to look at all the edit function and maybe to move a little bit and properly move the exit queue. So for that, I will just move to another view using the music segment editor and recall this music segment. And so the timeline will be maybe more large. So let's zoom out a little bit, focusing on the timeline and using the command shortcut, moving the execute to the proper point. And I will recall you that it will be a 16 measure music cue. So let's move that to bar 17. So all our edit will move and snap to the bar or beat if we activate that function. What can we do now inside this window? We can, of course, play with spacebar. We can, of course, if we zoom a little bit vertically, solo some tracks. And we can also, for example, edit, relocate our playhead and edit some clips with the split on cursor or with the shortcut S. And we can work on envelopes, for example, volume, create breakpoints like automation by, of course, double clicking and moving those breakpoints if I know how to double click. Of course, you can delete those breakpoints by using the delete key. We can also so split, like we said, at cursor and trim music segment. We can use a fade in and fade out. But those are not the most interesting function inside the music segment editor in Wwise. I think the most interesting function are this capacity to create subtract, and that will let us play sequentially or randomly what we will put inside the main tracks. So let me explain you a little bit more. And let's create, for example, a sequence steps way of playing that track. Let's add, of course, a subtrack. And if you see properly, if I force that listening and solo this track, we have one symbol. And if we listen to the second track, we have a different symbol. So now we can imagine, instead of playing them both together, we can imagine that each time the music cue is looping, those tracks are playing sequentially. And so the only thing that I need to do is to define those subtrack as a sequence steps mechanism, and just move this clip inside this subtrack. Delete this track. And now, each time my music segment will loop, the music, so this track will alternate sequentially between the first cymbal and then the second cymbal. Of course, we can also use the random part of the mechanism. And let's apply that to a percussion, because I think it's interesting, for example, for this music segment, to have maybe one kind of percussion playing that can randomly be choose between the first one and the second one, or silence. And to do that, I will create a random stamp mechanism, add 2 subtracks, and glide these clips inside one of the subtracks. Delete what I don't need. And that's the mechanism is set up. And now this main track will play randomly for each loops, silence or perk 1 or perk 2. Yeah, of course, if I need to, I can force the listening of one of those subtracks with this tool letter F. And what we can do now is that we have seen all those editing possibilities inside the music segment editors. I really want to show you some examples on different music segments and listen to what we can create. So let's jump in a different part of the session, because I've already did the work. And so let's go to, for example, yeah, maybe the night music that we did, not the night, sorry, so the near tempo, maybe music segment. And if we look at the, if we open the music segment editor again, so you can see it maybe better, and look at all the track provided. I think to create very interesting music, it was important to create really more randomization. So the first thing I want you to listen, and I will explain what I did, is that this was a minimalist composition. And the main music cue that is playing is one thing that is looping, and we have some ear candy provided by the composer. So let's listen to the main track. And this is supposed to loop eternally, infinitely. And some of ear candy will need to be heard during this loop, such as voices, such as chimes. And so what I end up doing to create more randomization, of course, is to use this random step mechanism and place a duplicate of the clip, but at different location. And this will be chosen randomly each time the loop is playing. So yeah. Let's have a listen of this mechanism, and let's play. Let's play. Sorry, let's play let's play the infinite loop. And so you see that the voice, you can hear that the voice is not triggered directly. And if I augment the playing back speed, you will see that it's in infinite, completely randomized music segment that was not synced like that by the composer. And this is I think really another way to listen to the music and to have our part of creativity by implementing those mechanisms.
Thanks for watching, and see you for your next project.